Welcome Caleb's Basketball Pod. On this, as promised, we would preview the series we know, and we now know the full second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's recap what happened the last couple of days real quick in NBA action and playoff action. We had a Denver Nuggets LA Clippers game, Game 6, where Kawhi, James Harden, and Norman Powell combined for 79 points, leading the Clippers to a victory over the Denver Nuggets, forcing a Game 7. So, I predicted Game 7 at the start of the series. I predicted a Clippers win. I'm still going for a Clippers win. I think in Game 7s, if this is our fourth Game 7 that we know of that we're going to see in the playoffs, we could get another one. We'll get to that in a second. So fourth Game 7 of the playoffs happened in first round. Not even surprising. Very well-matched teams between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. And I think in Game 7s, not only does it come down to playing, it comes down to coaching. Armstrong's done a great job in Denver. I believe that's his name. But he's never been a head coach. Tyronn Lue's been a head coach. He's a former NBA champion head coach. I believe when it comes down to adjustments and making the right plays, from that perspective, I'm going with Clippers. The other perspective look at is the Denver Nuggets have the best player on the planet right now, Nikola Jokic. Will he be the best player on the planet in this series? Because I think you could say, depending on the game, it's been Jokic or it's been Kawhi Leonard. Who's going to be the best player in this series when it comes to an end? It's probably going to be who leads their team to a victory, but who's going to pull that out in this final Game 7? We know it's in Denver. That gives Denver a little bit more of an advantage. I'm sticking with my original prediction of the Clippers, and I think Kawhi is going to end up being the best player of this series, and I think in Game 7 it's going to be evident. It's hard to send Kawhi Leonard home. We know this. We've seen this before. This is very reminiscent of that 2019 Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. The man looks unstoppable on both ends, and that's what's scary about this Kawhi Leonard. On the opposite side, though, we know the last time the Denver Nuggets played the Clippers in a series, I believe it was 2020. It was during the bubble. The Clippers had a 3-1 lead and they lost it and lost in Game 7. And back then it was Jokic and Morey. And now it's still Jokic and Morey torching the Clippers. So it's a possibility that happens. I'm sticking with the Clippers, but there has to be a lot of adjustments made. Another big thing is what James Harden are we getting? Are we getting the really good James Harden, or are we getting the Harden that shies away from the moment? Which happens a lot in the playoffs, and unfortunately it seems to happen on the road more often than not. But we're getting that game on Saturday, so most definitely watch that. We also seen in the last couple of days, we've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers in 5 and send them home. That was huge and very surprising in my opinion. I'm not even really all surprised that the Wolves won. I'm going to use what Brian Windhorst said on NBA Today, where he said at this point, seeding didn't really make a difference in the Western Conference when you look from like 2 or probably 3 to 7. He said seeding didn't really make a difference because anyone could have been in both seeds, just how close the games were. I don't think it's seeding. I think it's very hard for people to wrap their head around the fact that we saw LeBron James and Luka Doncic get sent home in the first round together as teammates. For as much criticism as J.J. Redick's taken for overplaying guys has been said, I think he did a good job coaching on his fourth season in LA. I don't think with him being the first-time head coach, I don't believe we would have said the Lakers would get to the playoffs as a 4th seed. Mind you, they underperformed after being a 4th seed. LeBron looked tired. We saw LeBron get a knee injury, so if the Lakers would have extended the series, it was announced today, he's going to be out 3 to 5 weeks, so it would have been Luka and Austin Reeves. And Austin Reeves did not have a good playoff series. I'm just going to be honest. I love Austin Reeves. I think he's a really good player. But for whatever reason, when it got to the playoffs, it looked like he was having a hard time fitting in with LeBron and Luka for some reason. And no big. We see the lack of big. And we saw Rudy Gobert exploit that with 27 rebounds. So, 27 points, 24 rebounds, sorry. But still, exploit that to, perfection, to be honest. Rudy Gobert was amazing in Game 5, and he got somewhat of payback on Luka Doncic. But let's talk about Minnesota. They're the winners. They're moving on. It's looking like they're going to face the Golden State Warriors. We know Game 6 is tonight in Golden State against the Houston Rockets. It's looking more and more like it's going to be Wolves and Warriors. If he is, we'll preview that series. Right now, I just want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. First off, Anthony Edwards is playing amazing basketball right now. We did see him have as much of an impact scoring, but we saw him get the ball to Rudy Gobert. We saw him get the ball out of double teams, get the ball where he knew it had to go. Near triple-double for that man, and he put away LeBron and Luka Doncic. Adds to his stats, and his, I guess the legend of Anthony Edwards is growing because he's putting away Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Luka Doncic. He's done it all. And he has a chance to put away Stephen Curry, too, in the next series, possibly. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Next up, I want to say, just Julius Randle. A lot of people, Wolves, they got a lot of flack for making that trade, sending Karl Anthony Towns to the Wolves. Oh, there's no way Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards are going to work together. Well, guess what? All those people are wrong. We're seeing Julius Randle get his along with Anthony Edwards. People were like, oh, well, only one of them can get theirs. Both of them can't eat. Well, both players are eating right now at the same time. They're both pulling up to the table, sitting down, and they're each having a slice. And that's amazing basketball that the Wolves are playing. This was the best playoff series by far in Julius Randle's career. Multiple 20-point games. And doing a really good job defensively, too, and I think people talked about that. Of course, Rudy Gobert was great in this last game, but I want to see Jaden McDaniels. Shout out to him. 30-point game, 27-point game, I believe, at one point. Just amazing games throughout the series. And he's a very underrated player. Dante DiVincenzo's been playing big. Michael Conley was hitting some big shots in the series. Really fun series to watch. And it's hard to believe he only ended in 5, but very good series. Congratulations to the Timberwolves. Let's preview a little bit of Golden State Houston tonight. We know Oklahoma's still waiting on Denver, LA, as we spoke on. So we'll just leave you at that with them. But let's talk about the last Western Conference series real quick. Game 6, Houston, after going down 3-1, blowout win in Houston. That's what you want, especially against Golden State. Like, we know you can take momentum. We've seen it before. We've seen Steph, Draymond were on that team that dropped the 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. Mind you, first-round series, not as big as Finals. Houston Rockets does not have the same players that Cleveland Cavaliers team had, but what I love about the Rockets, and I've said this over and over again, they are gritty, they are tough, they defend like crazy. If they can get the offense going consistently, I would be surprised if Golden State has a Game 7 on their hands, and it would be back in Houston. That's very dangerous and very hard to win, in my opinion, for the Golden State Warriors. On the flip side of it, if I'm Golden State, this is Game 6 and you're home. You have to come out fast, out the gate. You have to pull on them. We've seen really slow starts for Golden State. Some games they've turned around and got back in. Some games like this last, they have not turned around and got back in. And you have to avoid the slow start. You're in Golden State. Give the crowd something chill about. Get the crowd going early. You want to finish this Rockets team early. You want no chance of them winning at the end because I'm telling you, they are tough, gritty, and they defend. All of that, they can still win on the road. And if they still win on the road with all the momentum going Houston, I would not be surprised if we are not seeing the Houston Rockets take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the next round. And another thing, and I say it over and over again, I need to see more from Jalen Green. We'll be 6 games into his playoff run. 1 good game and 5 tries. I need to see more from him. We know how talented he is. We know how good he is. But he's just showing Houston, unfortunately, that this is why they gave you the 2-year contract, not the big max, because they don't think you can be that guy in the clutch. Prove them wrong, Jalen. We know how good you are. We know how talented you are. I need to see more from Jalen Green. This is a game that can cement him as a future star of this league. If you go into Golden State and you put up 30-some, maybe 40, who knows? Because we know he can go off. We know he can go out there and get buckets. So if you go out and you put on this great performance, then You're building momentum. You're giving your team a shot to win it in 7 in Houston. And on top of that, you're cementing your legacy of you can be a top star in the league, and you're proving everyone wrong. So I just want to say, go get Jalen Green. Next up, let's preview our 2 Eastern Conference series. We have Boston, New York. For that, I believe there's a way to beat the Boston Celtics. I think we see it. We saw Orlando. They want to make the series physical, tough, slow. Why do you want to make it slow when you're playing the Boston Celtics? It lessens the 3-pointers allowed attempted. Lessening the 3-pointers attempted, lessens the 3-pointers made, lessens the chance to get going, and lessens the chance to just keep shooting them like crazy even if you're missing. If you're missing and you're not taking as many, it's going to take that much longer to get going. If you're missing but you're getting like 20, 30 up, like super quick, I want to say maybe quarter and a half, you're getting 20 some up, then there's a chance that once you start hitting, you're good. Well, once you lessen the impact and you lessen how many they're taking, that in turn leads to less of a chance to get that rhythm, get that momentum, and speed the game up and get so many threes and so many looks at. That's what you want if you're New York. You have to make this game physical. I don't want to say make the game like Doherty as in play and Doherty wise. I want to say Doherty it up as in don't let the game be clean. Don't let Boston get clean looks. Don't let Boston play clean. Don't let them run up and down the court on you. If you do, it's over. You have to slow the pace down. You have to get Karl-Anthony Towns going. Boston believes they can guard anyone one-on-one. Make them see differently. Get Towns going in the paint. We know Porzingis struggles defending in the paint at points. Get Towns going. Draw double teams. Kick 2 open guys. You need to hit shots. We need more than a Jalen Brunson show, which we've seen a lot of in that last Detroit series. That's not going to work with Boston. They have Derek White and possibly Drew Holiday when he returns. Being the Jalen Brunson show is not going to pan out against Boston. Too many bodies throw at them. If for whatever reason White or Holiday's not working defending him, you can throw Jaylen Brown. You can throw Tatum. You can throw a way of bodies at Brunson. And you don't need double. You just need one. You just need to try different bodies at him. But guess what? With Towns, if he starts scoring on Porzingis, Al Horford's not going to stop him. So how do you stop him? You bring Derek White over to probably try and cut low and get that steal and take off with it. Well, if you know and you have that paint presence, that post presence, you know when Derek White's coming around, you kick it to the man he's guarding, whether it's Josh Hart or Bridges or OG. You get open shots, you need those guys knock it down. Maybe it's McBride when he's in. But nonetheless, you need those guys to hit those shots, and you need a all-around team effort if you're New York and you want to win this. Make the game physical, slow the game down, work the ball in the paint, out physical, out tough Boston. We know they don't want to play physical. They did not want to play physical for Orlando. They got really banged up. New York has a lot better team. They need to execute that. On the flip side, if I'm Boston, I don't believe the Knicks think they can beat me if I'm the Celtics. We went 4-0 against them. Most of the games were blowouts. There was one really close game, and we still won that. So I don't think Boston, I think in the back of in New York's head, they don't think they can beat you. So what do you do with that? You take it to them. You destroy them. You jump them out of the gate, and you let them know. You let that creep back in and say, no, you can't beat us. And that's the best way to do it. You jump on them, you attack them, you keep their confidence level low, because if you get the game close and you let them think they have a chance, they're going to take that chance. And they're going to come up and they may win a few, and you may be in Game 7 against the New York Knicks in a physical game that Jalen Brunson may go off at the end, or Towns may have a career game, and you may end up going home in the second round. So if I'm New York, Doherty the game up, make it physical, slow it down, get Towns going, get everybody involved, and just make the game kind of nasty. If I'm the Celtics, I stay away from that. The opposite. I'm running, I'm getting out in the open floor, I'm getting my threes up, I'm getting my shots going. I'm destroying any hope that the Knicks may have, because we know we beat them 4 times and most of them weren't even close. Switching to the other Eastern Conference series, we have the Pacers and the Cavs. I think most people are a little unsure of how this series is going to go, because Cavs dismantled the Miami Heat. The Indiana Pacers had a few rallies against the Bucks, but kind of controlled the series for the most part. And I don't think the competition level was all the way up for either team. So I think this is the test for both teams. It goes without saying, this is who is the real contender, who wins this, because you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Looking at both styles, Cleveland's offense is against the Miami Heat team that we know their talent level, unfortunately, was way below Cleveland's, unfortunately for them. Their offense looked amazing, nearly unstoppable. Do I think it's going to look the same against Indiana? No, but I think if you're Cleveland, you have to try and make it close to that, because this is the style you want to play, and if you can somewhat consistently play that way throughout the playoffs, I think it would be very hard to beat, even for Boston to beat. But if I'm Indiana, I know they've been picking up 94 feet. I refrain from doing that. You have to look, and you have to look at the guards. If you're picking up Garland or Mitchell from 94 feet on, you know they're ball handling, you know they can get away from this, they can break free. They get you in that backcourt. When they pass you, when they do some dribble moves, they turn on the speed. Now they're going downhill with a 5-on-4. So now you're leaving someone open, and we know how good their offense is. If I'm Indiana, I'm refraining for picking up full court. I think if you pick up full court on Cleveland, you're in trouble. Their guards are too skilled and too talented, and they're going to get the ball out quick, move the ball down court, get someone with open shots, and the last thing you want to give a historic play in offense right now is wide open threes. You're in trouble. Cleveland-wise, I'm looking for Indiana to pick up 94 feet. I'm waiting for it. And I'm like, pull out that dribble package, get the ball out, move it down the court quick. Now you have a 5-on-4. You get to fall to that corner for an open three, the wing, possibly a lob to Allen or Mobley. But you have to take control. Also, make Pascal Siakam play. Make him play on both ends. We've seen him dominate some games late in the stretch against Milwaukee, but we also did see him have to do as much on the defensive end. Yes, on and off he defended Giannis, but on and off he defended Giannis. If he's guarding Evan Mobley, give the ball to Mobley, let him do work, see if Pascal has energy on both ends. Indiana, key to beating Cleveland, I believe. Tyrese Halliburton has to be amazing, I think. He has to do what we all seen him do, but he has to be the guy for Indiana to beat this Cleveland team. You're going to be able to attack the guards more than the paint. So what I'm saying is Pascal Siakam may not be as big of an X factor because he's going to be defended by the Defensive Player of the Year. But if you're Tyrese Halliburton, you're going to be defended by Mitchell, Strus. Make them have to bring in Okoro or Hunter to put on you, because show that you can be him. So I think there's a way for both teams to come out on top. Predictions, series win, I'm going Cleveland in 6. And predictions for Boston, New York, I'm going Boston in 6. Thank you guys for watching, and just some good basketball coming up. Enjoy what we have coming. Possibly 2 Game 7s over the weekend. That's going to be fun.